everyone, it's Dawn Duvall, and I am a few minutes early, so I'm just going to get a few buttons pushed and get things set up, and I'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to turn the chat on, and let's see, chat, come on, there we go, here we go, there we go. Well, there we go. Now we have the chat. Now the chat's on. Okay, so let's see. Is there anything else I need to do? I think I'm good. Let me get set up on my phone. Welcome if you're there. I am streaming to Facebook as well as YouTube. And why? I see my Facebook chat. I don't see my YouTube chat. So what is going on with that? Let's see, we should be recording. Upload progress is 88%. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it's trying to get, hang on a minute. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe we're not into YouTube yet. So I'm going to sign into Facebook and see what's going on there. Let me put this on silence. Oh, I think that might be why. I think my husband's watching a video, so I'm sure that that's dragging the internet connection. So we're probably uploading to YouTube, but I am going to be streaming on both, and I'm live. I see myself, so that's good. At least we got one channel working, and we'll see what happens here. Once you join, let me know that you're out there. I greatly appreciate it. Just say hi, leave a comment if you choose to do so. If you don't, that's fine as well. No big deal. And I'm going to wait probably till about 7:04 before we get started. And the uploading seems to be a little bit slow. Let me go into my YouTube and let me just check that real quick and see if we how we are on YouTube. Let me see if I have that on a app. I think I do. Yep, YouTube. Let me see if we're on there. So while we're waiting for everybody to come on, let me go into my YouTube channel and see if we are live. And let me push that button. So many buttons we have to push. You know what? All right, so let's see. Your videos. All right, that's my channel. All right, it says it's at 95%. I'm not sure. I've never seen that before. It's probably because my husband's on the TV thing, watching TV. Let's see your videos. Let's go live. It's still saying upload progress is 92%. So I don't think I'm live on YouTube yet. So I guess we'll just wait and see. We will wait and see. If I get some chats going, then I know that we're well, but I'm going to go ahead and get I'm back on Facebook. So I do want to keep an eye on that. I got the sound off. I think we're good. So we are going to give this a few more minutes. Pardon me. I'm just trying to work on organizing myself on the computer and trying to get my phone out of the way so I'm not in the way of there we go. I'm trying to get stuff off my screen so I can see what's going on. So I think we're good. So we'll get started in just a few more minutes. And let's see. We've got, well, what happened to my chat? Now my chat's gone away. All right, hang on. Let's hold off on the chat. I'm going to hold off on the chat for just a minute, and then I'll open it back up. For some reason, it's uploading slow, and I'm assuming it's because he's on the computer. And I'm trying to stream to 2 sites, so that might be part of the problem too. I don't know. Let's see what's happening. All right, I'm going to open up the Facebook chat again. Okay, let me put a welcome message in here. I don't know why I've got stuff all over my screen. I normally don't do that, but I'm not sure what's going on, but that's okay. We are going to post that. Okay, well, we have 2 on there. That's all right. Okay, well, we're on Facebook. Let's see if we can get to YouTube here. It might take a few minutes, but that's all right. We're gonna move on with or without. We'll do our best to get on YouTube for those that may want to watch us on YouTube, but that's fine. It keeps fluctuating between 90 and 90%. I'm not quite sure what that's referring to, and it may be my YouTube channel. So, but that's right. At least we're on Facebook. That's the main thing. And let's see what the time is. 7:03. We're going to give it another minute or two and then we'll get started. So for those of you that are here, welcome. And just make sure you've got your soft drink, water, whatever you want to drink with you if you choose to do so. And we'll get started. Just sit back and relax. And we'll get started in just a minute. I'll do some housekeeping. And then we'll move on to 2 cards. We're going to be using a new stamp set that's, I think it's in the online exclusives now, if I'm not mistaken. And then I'm going to do 2 cards using that stamp set. One's going to be a swing fold card. So it's pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it. It took me a few minutes to figure out. I think it was just at the end of the day and I was trying to get this card finished and it, I'm not going to say it wasn't cooperating. Apparently my brain wasn't. So I finally figured it out. So anyways, hello, Karen. How are you? I figured that was you. I'm trying to see, are you on Facebook? I assume you are. Because I'm trying to get this thing uploaded to YouTube and it's telling me my upload progress and Chuck's watching some darn movie that he's streaming. So I'm trying to stream to Facebook and YouTube and he's on the TV watching a movie. So that might be the problem. Hopefully we don't have any issues. If we do, I'm just going to tell him he needs to get off. But that's all right. It's going through some uploading progress. I'm not quite sure what it's doing. Oh, you're on YouTube. Okay, well then good. Because I put on the chat and but that's okay. I think we're good. I guess maybe it combines the 2. All right, so it is 7:05. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida. And this is my weekly speech. I've been doing this craziness for 14 years. And tonight we are going to be working with a new stamp set and some new paper, designer paper, which I'm thrilled about. So sit back and relax and we'll get started. I do want to go over a few housekeepings. I forgot to bring my little sheet, but if you've been shopping with Stampin' Up, our host codes are going away. But which is better for you as a customer because every time you order $20, then you're going to get 10% of that amount in rewards. And those rewards are good for 10 years. Now, you need to make sure you have an online account through Stampin' Up and that everything is up to date. You have opted in to receive information. If you don't, I would encourage you to do so because this will go into effect April 15th. And if you are like a few of my customers, I place the orders for them. So what will take place is I will put the order in for you and I will gift you those rewards. And those rewards are good for 90 days. So I would encourage you, if at all possible, and I do have a couple of older folks that just prefer not to do it and I will do it for them. But other than that, I would hope that everybody, we're all pretty somewhat tech savvy and we can go online and place our own order. But if you need help, I'll be more than happy to do that. Also, if you're not on my newsletter list, I would encourage you to do that. I do have and if you are interested, just put news in the comments and I'll send you the link. There is a link on there that if you're not working with a demonstrator, we have a new catalog that's coming out, the annual catalog, which will go into effect May 6th. So I'm taking reservations for those that would like a catalog and not working with someone. You'll just give me your name and address, and then I will mail the catalogs out to you once I get my shipment in, which should be here in the next week or so. So in addition to that, if you're not on my newsletter, I would encourage you to join it. I send out weekly information. I put some tips in there. I do keep you up to date on what's taking place in Stampin' Up as far as sales. And speaking of the last chance, if you haven't gone online, I would encourage you to do so. They have uploaded everything at this point that's on the last chance list. And I'm making the assumption those are things that are going to be retiring from the annual catalog. So there's a whole list of them. And I have a link to that in my email as well. So just to give you that update. All right, I'm going to flip the camera down because I'm going to go ahead and get myself situated. So bear with me. I need to flip, and let me flip this down. I want to get it to the table, push my button so that y'all can see. And I'm going to raise this up. So give me just a minute. I want to make sure that we get in a place where I can get you all to see the table. So bear with me. I apologize. This is not what I'm used to on that previous software system that I worked with. But you know what? We got to make do with what we got. I just want to make sure that we're in and y'all can see everything. And I'm trying to figure out, bear with me. I'm going to send this thing back. Hang on. I'm going to put this back because I can move this up and then move this down. Not that you need to see my stomach there. How's that? Does that look all right? I think that will work. Okay. We are going to work with this You Are Remarkable stamp set. It's a photopolymer and it contains 10 stamps. And you've probably seen a lot of cards designed. I just really liked it because it's simple. It's a two-step stamp set as well. But I just really like the simplicity of that. So we're going to do 2 cards using this stamp set. The first one's going to be a very simple card. And then the second one is a swing open type fold. And that one's it's not that hard. It took me a few minutes. Once I figured out the way to do it, then I went, oh, well, that's smart, because I was trying to make it harder than it was. Anyways, imagine that. So this is a set that we're going to be working with. I'm going to put that over here because I don't think we need that right now. And then this paper, and I mentioned this to you all last week, make sure when you go online, because Stampin' Up's got so many different sites, pockets of things, designer paper, pattern paper, scrapbooking. I found this paper in the scrapbooking section, and this is called Everyday Happiness. Now there are 12 sheets, and there's 4 of 3 designs. I'm going to show you those. As you can see, this is one. We're going to be working with this one. And then that's the back side, which I absolutely adore. And then I'm going to take these out so you can see them. This one here, we're going to use with this one this evening. And then that's the back side. It's kind of an ombre type effect. And I really like that. And then you can see the checks here. So you get 4 sheets of the checks. And the back is the wild wheat. And then you'll get 4 of those. And then you'll get 4 of the Lost Lagoon. Okay, so that's what we're going to work with this evening. I just like the bright colors. And what's really frustrating is they've got the wild wheat in here. And I think you've heard me say this before. When wild wheat came out 2 years ago, most of us looked at that and went, oh my God, that's such an ugly color. And it took about a year for it to grow on me. And I really like the color. And especially when you see it used with these other colors with it. This is Lost Lagoon. There's gray granite, and Pretty Peacock is in this paper. And now it's going to be retiring. So go figure, right? So that's what we're going to be working with. Let me put that off to the side. Let me bring in the card. Here's my card. Let me bring in the card of what we're going to be making. So this is the card. This is the first card. This is a very simple card, nothing over the top. We're going to take the paper. Now, one thing I'm going to point out what not to do. We're going to take the paper and we're going to cut it in at a diagonal. Now, when I put this one on first, it took me a little bit longer than I thought to shift it down. So you'll notice how I've got I'm not, if you all know me and follow me, you know that I'm not a perfectionist. So it's a lot. You've got more cardstock of Pretty Peacock showing here than you do here. So my evenness is not even. So just be aware when you're using your liquid glue, don't let it sit but 1 or 2 seconds, because otherwise you're not going to be able to move it. So that's what we're doing. I have not put my inside piece in. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Pretty Peacock that we're going to be using. And then you're going to take your pattern papers and you're going to cut those at 4 by 5.25 like we normally do. Excuse me. And then just put that in your paper trimmer from tip to tip. From tip to tip. And then you just want to cut it at the diagonal. And then then you've got your two, you'll have actually four pieces, right? So the ones that I did here, and then I'm using the other half on the card that we're going to make right now. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And then this is an easy card. Now, I did want to get your opinion. So there is, the chat is open and I can see that. Hi, Linda. How are you? Welcome. So I can see the chat. So my question to you is, on the base of this one here, I use the gray granite, which is this one here. So which do you think would look better? Let me open up because I'll need to pull my paper trimmer in. So we're going to have, let me show y'all, and then y'all just leave me your comment. And I know it's going to take a few seconds to get through. All right, so that's basically what we're going to do. All right, we're going to have that. So what do you think? Which color do you all think I should use on this card? I did gray granite here, and then you decide which one I should do on the card that we're going to be making. And while you're doing that, I'm going to grab my paper trimmer so that I don't spill anything. And then we'll get started. So what do y'all think? Leave me a comment. I know there's a, do you still get your commission or whatever it's called being the host? No, well, yes and no. So we're going to, while y'all are deciding, if you make a purchase, your rewards can be used. So let's say you make a purchase through me. All right, you'll get, let's just say it's $20. You're going to get $2 of a reward. Now, you don't have to spend that money with me. I would love you to, but you can spend that with any demonstrator you want. So that demonstrator would redeem the points, and it would just come off of their commission or whatever. So that would be deducted from whatever demonstrator you're redeeming the money from would come off of their commission. And, you know, in the big scheme of things, and I know I was looking at a discussion board today on some of the demonstrators that have, you know, a lot more people than I do, a lot, you know, they're in the top performers. But when you look at what they're spending, because if you get your rewards, you're going to redeem those rewards, and most likely you're going to spend more money to buy more stuff. So I think it's going to all work out in the big scheme of things. So I don't really, you know, we can't control. You shop with who you want to shop with, and you can purchase through who you want to shop with. So that's how I'm going to leave it. I mean, we all want everybody to just shop with us, right? With each individual, but that's your decision. So it's your call, and you can do what you like. You know, you could, if you have a couple of demonstrators, you could shop with one time and you'll get rewards, and then you can redeem them with the other demonstrator because you're going to have to shop with that person. So it all works out. So that's how I'm going to leave it. So, okay, the wheat is kind of a goldish brown. I think that would look pretty, don't you? I think since I did it on the beige, I mean on the gray, I think I'm going to do this, but I wanted to get y'all's opinion. And it's not for underneath here. I'm just showing that it's going to be for underneath the sentiment. But I think that would look a lot nicer. So I think that's what we'll do. Let's go with the wild wheat, unless I hear some other comments from anybody at this point. Otherwise, that's what the plan is. So in the meantime, I'm not going to cut that yet until we get this started. All right. So again, 8.5 by 5.5, pretty peacock, scored at 4 1/4. And let me flip mine over because I don't know what it is. Do you all have this problem when you score things and then you go to fold it? Sometimes I can flip it the opposite way and it works, but other times it doesn't. So I'm going to hold it down, and I'm just going to give this a good crease so that both of our edges, you're my demonstrator, but I'm on a pause for purchasing. That's fine. Not a problem. But thank you. I appreciate that, Karen. Not a problem. Okay, so now we've taken, right, my two squares that I had. Now I want this side to pop up. And that's pretty, but I think I like this one better. So that one we're going to place right down here in this corner. And then this one, I want this again because I love that. I love that color. Now we're going to butt these up. So this is where I need to get my act together when it comes to gluing my stuff down. Let me put my paper trimmer here off to the side for just a second because I will cut down that piece. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to put some adhesive on the back side. I just love this paper. they have done, I really have to give kudos to Stampin' Up! And the design team. Now, granted, this stuff was, I don't know when the paper was made, but who knows, right? It's just come out, so I assume it's probably been made. Hang on, I squeezed this thing earlier to make sure it was working, and now it's gotten clogged up again. So bear with me 1 second. Once I get it going, it should come out, but it's wanting to be a little difficult. And I had a feeling this was going to happen. So I don't know, that's a good question. I need to ask, when do they make the designer paper? Because then, they've got to design that. They have to come up and design it. The artist does that. And then they, have to go through the process of getting it right to the colors that they want. And then this is not cooperating. They have to get it right to the colors they want, right? And then it's got to go to the manufacturer to get made. I don't know how long that process is, to be honest with you. They've probably told us that. I don't remember. I know they tell us about the stamps and stuff, but I don't recall them telling us about the this is crazy. All right, I think I've got enough glue on there. If not, I might have to use my seal. Okay, here we go. So this one we're going to place up in this top corner. So I'm going to lay him right here. And I think if I do this pretty quickly, see, I have to move it down. I think that gives me room for this. Now, see, now I've got too much up there. So let's see if we can move it up. We might have to cross them over. All right, there we go. I think that'll work. Yep, I think that'll work good. All right, let's try. Let's try this glue one more time. And there we go. Come on, Mama. There we go. Now we're getting it. There we go. All right. Okay, so I have to, first of all, I have two things I want to mention, and this is not stamping related. First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for your kind words and cards that you sent to me regarding Riley. And I'm going to get a little emotional. It's a good thing I'm not on camera. But anyways, I really appreciate everything that you all have sent and done for me. Excuse me, let me get my breath. Our veterinarian had donated money to and I wasn't aware of this, to a forest where they plant a tree in honor of my dog. And that took my heart. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate that, everything that you all have said and your kind words and the cards and stuff that I received. It means a great deal. So with that being said, I'm going to stop crying now. Good thing I'm not on camera, but thank you very much for that. I just thought I would share because I just thought that was so nice of them. I've not had that done by a veterinarian before. I have gotten cards from them, but never had a tree planted on, for my dog. So anyways, okay, now get through that. Now we're going to cut the piece that goes on here. Let me get my act together here. But I should have, good thing I didn't do that on camera because then y'all see me crying. Okay, so for this piece here, the white is cut at 2 1/4. I get emotional when I still talk about my dog. 2 1/4 by 4. So that means that we need to do 2 1/2 by 4 1/4, right? So we're going to do 2 1/2. Let me see if I can see the lines between my eyeballs are watering up. But I really do appreciate everything that you all have said and sent, the cards and everything. It really means a great deal to me. I think we said 4 1/4, so let's go with that. Of course, you think I brought Kleenex in here? No, I did not, but that's okay. Okay, so let's see. We need that. We don't need this. Let me move these pieces out of the way. We'll put those over there. Okay, so these are the pieces that we need to do our part for this thing right here. And then let me move the trimmer because we don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna lay that here on the floor. And then we need a piece for our sentiment that is, it's going to be whatever you want it for your own sentiment, but the one I'm using, this is going to be 1 1/2 by 2 1/8. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to do some stamping and coloring. And we put that over there out of the way. All right, so I'm going to bring in a scrap paper because I'm going to stamp off on one of the colors. I'm using, let me get to my colors here. All right, we're going to see, now my nose is wanting to run. Okay, I'm going to, oh, there's my black. I was wondering what happened to my black. I guess I need that one first, don't I? Okay, I'll get it together here in a minute. Where is my, hang on a minute, I lost my stamp. Oh, it's right here in front of me. Okay, so this stamp, and again, it's a two, not this one, but this is a two-step. So we are going to do some two-step stamping. Now I'm inking this up with my Minto black, which I think I need to re-ink it actually. But okay, so let's huff on that, and then we're going to stamp that on this piece right here. Oh, my nose! Goodness gracious! All right, so let's push that right there. And then we're going to do some coloring. All right, so there we go. That turned out pretty good, didn't it? All right, so let me scratch this. And I apologize, my table is moving. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this part of the flower in pretty peacock. I just like that color, and I thought, well, that'll look nice with our cards, with our card base, right? So this stamp is going to go here. Now, this one I should be able to do without getting my head. Hang on one second. I am going to move. I'm going to close that so it's not in my way. I may have to get my head in here. All right, so we're going to line this up, and I'm going to try to do this without sticking my head over. So bear with me. I'm thinking I might be able, if I get these lined up, I think I'll be good. So here we go. We're going to push down and take a chance, see how that looks. Oh, I might have to go get a Kleenex. All right, so there we go with that. And I did that full strength. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the stems in Lost Lagoon. But if you notice, see how light that is? I stamped off. So I like that because I thought the Lost Lagoon was a little too dark for what I wanted. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp off. Bear with me, and I apologize. Now my nose is wanting to run, and I don't have any Kleenex in here. All right, let me put that over here. Okay, so I'm going to stamp off just lightly. I don't want to take a lot of that off. And now I'm going to line this up. Now, if you see this stem right here, the main stem, you can see that. That's where I'm going to start to line up the stem on the card, on the stamp, which is going to be, where is he? He is this one right here. Can you see that where my finger is? That right there is the stem. So I'm going to line that up right here and try to get it angled. And actually, I'm going to stand up so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to re-moisten it while breathing on it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to try to line this up. Try to do this standing up and hunched over. All right, we're going to get that stem right there and get him lined up. You know what? And if the leaves are off a little bit, it's okay because it's our piece of work, artwork, right? And that's whoever gets this is not going to know. And you always hear me say that. Oh, look at that. I did better with this one than I did on that one. But see how much lighter it is? So I just thought that was pretty. I like that. Okay, so we've got that. Let me wipe this one off. All right, we're going to come back because we're going to do the next card. We're going to use similar colors. Okay, so now we've got to do this. So I'm going to use that wild wheat for the inside of the flower. So we're just going to take, just do this little guy right here. But I just think this is such a cute set. So if I would encourage y'all to get this. Now, I could have stamped that off a little bit, but I like that kind of dark. It just gives it a little bit of, I think it just gives it a little pop there. All right. And again, like I said, this is a pretty easy card. So now we're going to add this onto here. And let's see if we can get our glue to cooperate. Yay, it's working. All right, so we're going to put that on here. I don't need my scrap paper, so I'm going to move this out of the way because it's sliding. You know, on the glass mat, it slides all over. You know, if you're on your table, it doesn't normally slide like that. All right, so we're going to put this on here. And if you don't want that much of a border, just cut it down like 1/8 of an inch. All right, so there's that. Okay, now we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. And I'm going to put 6 on here. So we'll do 2 and 2. I think I said this to y'all before. This is a set of dimensionals that we got in one of the paper pumpkin kits. Can you believe that? I've been using this for, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. That is a lot of dimensionals. Normally they don't give you that many. Okay, and then let's see. The next thing we need to do, I'm not going to put that down there yet. Well, I guess I could. Let's do that. We can put him on there. All right, so let's pull these little guys off, and let me bring him a little trash can, and we'll get this part done. I need to get moving because the other card might take a little bit longer. We may go over a little bit. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to lay that just wherever you want to place it. I'm going to place it right here. And actually, yeah, I think that'll look fine. So I've kind of got that corner right on the split of where we did our diagonal cut. All right, now, which I probably should have done this before I put the ink away, I'm going to stamp the sentiment in Pretty Peacock. I just love that color. And I'm going to change no, I'm doing the same sentiment. Let me see. Yeah. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. Since it's a flower card, all right, and it looks like it's not going to fit on here, but it actually does. So we're going to stamp that right in the center. Look at that. And I like the font on this. Isn't that pretty? Can y'all see that? Do I need to move this in a little bit closer? Do you want me to move it down some? I know. I wish I had the zoom thing like I did. I guess I might have to break down and do something different. And of course, now we can see the light. All right. So let me clean this off real quick. All right, I'm going to set that right there. Okay, now on this one, I'm going to put a dimensional on both on the left side. I'm going to put 2, and then I'm only going to put, because this guy's already up, right? So I'm going to lay it here. But I'm just going to put a little strip of adhesive right on this little side right here, and that's what's going to hold it to our card. All right, so we'll take these guys off. And got that one off. Okay. And then now we're just going to lay that wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put it right about there. Whoops. I don't want to take up. Let me move this over a little bit. Yeah, that's good. I don't really want to hide the flower though, do I? No, we don't. Let's bring this down just a tad. All right. So we're going to do like that. There we go. It's going to cover up a little bit, but that's not too bad. All right, so there's that. And then the last thing, we're going to put some butterflies on here because, you know, butterflies, you got to have those. And you can find these on the online store. I'm going to put 3 because, you know, they say put them in odd colors, right? I mean, odd numbers. So let's put a big one right here. And then we've got the little baby ones. So let's put one, I'll put it on this side since we did it on the other side. And then we're going to put one up at the top to make it more symmetrical, if you will. So we'll just stick one right there. And that way, that way this thing doesn't look like it's naked. All right, so there's that card. Now we can always take our, take a 2 3/8, 2.5 piece of your designer paper, cut it, and then you can glue it to the back and make your envelope look beautiful. So there is that card. Isn't that cute? I do like the wheat. Oops, look at that. I got this crooked. Hang on a minute. I just realized this one's crooked. It's not, you think I can lift this up? Yep, let me see. Hang on a minute. I just realized that my bottom part wasn't straight. So we're going to make that straight. There we go. There we go. I am a little particular on that one, but don't you like those? This one just the same. This one's like a little bit more tame, and this one's like kind of does that pop with the wild wheat. So keep in mind, this guy's retiring. All right, so there's that card. What do you think about that? Leave me some comments. We can zoom on our own screen. Oh, I forgot. You're so smart, Karen. I forgot y'all can zoom in. You can open your screen and all that. I wasn't thinking. Okay, perfect. All right, so those are those cards. All right, so that's that one. I'm going to put these off to the side for just a minute. Let's put them over here. Now, let me show you the star. Now, this card, we're using the same stamp set, but I am using the texture note dies, and I'll show you that. So let me get these instructions. I copied this or cased it, pardon me, cased it from Mary Deathridge, I think is her last name. And I just love this. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use, and I'll tell you what we're doing here. All right, so you see the card. Oh, let's put this over here. So it's, now let's see if we can turn it this way. Oh, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? Okay, never mind. All right, you ready? Okay, so we're going to open it up. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? Look at that. It's not that hard once you get the hang of it, but I was, the first time you make a card and you're not sure how it's supposed to fold, that's what I was struggling with. And then once I got it done, I went, oh, well, that's pretty simple. All right, so that's what we're going to make right there. Isn't that a cutie patootie? All right, so we're going to use Lost Lagoon cardstock. And we're going to use, which I already cut, I used the third from the largest die, the textured note dies. And that's how we cut out. And the piece of cardstock that we cut out is what we're using for the front piece. Okay. So just to let you know that if you don't have the textured dies and the textured note dies and textured note, which I used, I think it was last week, you need to get those because I just, anything that you can do with rectangles and all that stuff, right? Okay, so here we go with this card. We don't need our butterflies. Let's move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to toss it over there on the bed. Okay, it's the same card base, 8.5 by 5.5. Score it at 4 1/4, and then run it through your embossing machine, your die cutting machine, and we're going to take that third from the largest, and you could use any rectangle. You could do a circle. You can do what you want, right? But the rectangle is going to work for this particular card for the flower. All right, so that's that. And then let me go through and give you the different pieces. Now I'm using this one. I only put a piece right here, designer paper. So I think I'm going to put one right here next to it, just so that this doesn't look quite as naked. So I thought I would try that and do maybe one of these pieces, probably this one with the dots, so it's not quite as wild, and we'll do that one. But I need to cut another base. So thank goodness I have, let me see what we've got here. If not, we might just put it on. No, we got to have a base for it. So I might have to, hang on a minute. Did I bring another piece of wild wheat? I don't think I did. This is not going to fit. All right. We may not use both pieces because I think it's going to look funny if I don't have the, to coordinate, right? So we're going to poo-poo that idea. But anyways, my point was I was going to put one right here. So you could do that. So we're just going to do the one. Okay. That's fine. No big deal. But you'll know for future, you can decorate both of them that way. And then it can stand up. See, it stands up like that. And look how nice that would be if it's on your desk. Let's pretend this is your desk, right? See how it looks? And then you can see it. So there you go. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, let me give you the measurements for everything else, and then we'll get started. Oh, and also with the dies, the texture note dies, the small frame, you're going to cut that out for your sentiment. Okay. So that's that. And then we have a piece of cardstock that is this one is 1 7/8 by 4 3/4. And then of course our designer paper is going to be 4 1/2 by 1 3/4 by 4 3/4. Is that right? Yeah. And then of course the piece that we've cut out, and then this white piece, which is for our sentiment, is 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. So that's going to be our for our flower. 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have a piece of basic white, which is, hang on, I got to get my paper trimmer because we got to do some scoring, and then we'll start stamping. Okay. All right, so this, let me get my arm opened up. Okay, where's my directions? What did I do with the directions? Hang on. Oh, right in front of me. This piece is 5 by 7 7/8. All right, and then we're going to score this at 2, 4, and 6. So those numbers you should be easy to remember. So this is 5 inches by 7 7/8. And we're going to score at 2, 4, and 6. So we'll do a 2. We're going to do a 4. and then we're going to do a 6. Now, what you're going to do, that's going to leave this piece right here is like 1 7/8. So we're going to flip that around because that's the piece that we want. And that one didn't score very well. Let me put this back in here. 6 inches. That's going to be the piece that's going to attach. Push that down a little bit harder. There we go. This will be the piece that's going to attach to the front. That's going to lock down our card so that we can open it. Okay, so that's the piece that's going to be on that side. All right, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure I didn't lie to y'all. Hang on a minute. Am I lying? That's 2. And this one is 2. And that one is, I'm pretty sure that that is, hang on a minute. 2, 4, and 6. Smallest, we already got that one. Hold on. I'm looking at my notes. 3 7/8, we already did that. I'm pretty sure that this one over here is the 1 3/4. Let's just measure it real quick because I'm almost positive. This one is, I mean, not 1 3/4, 1 7/8. Actually, the 1 7/8 looks like it's going to go here. And then these are the other 3 that are equal sizes. Okay. All right. So let me flip this back around. We don't want 2 inches. We want, yeah, this one here. Okay. So we're going to fold this. I know I have to talk to myself. All right. We're going to fold that. So this is going to go down. That's where our sentiment's going to go. This one we're going to fold. And then I'm going to come back with my bone folder. Actually, let me just do it right now. Look, I got so excited. I pulled 2 bone folders out. And then this one is going to go that way. So let me just turn it this way. And then we're going to fold that and crease it. All right. So then what's going to happen, this is going to lay down on the card base. This one is not going to get glued down because that one's going to, oh, wait, I got it backwards. This one's going to come up. Sorry. See, I knew we have to sit there and play with this. This one goes backwards. All right. This one goes down. This one's going to pop up. This one is going to go across here like that. And then this one's going to attach like that. Okay. So that's how it's going to work. But once we don't worry about it because this is going to fold up and it's going to work. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, let me bring in my paper again. We're going to do some stamping. And I'm going to open my card because I want to stamp on the edge of my outside edge of my opening. So if you see what I've done there, we're going to use the leaf stamp. So let me bring in the leaf stamp. He's hiding down here somewhere. Let me find him. All right. And okay. So we're going to stamp. I'm going to do Lost Lagoon. And as soon as I find my Lost Lagoon, which is hiding, or did I do Pretty Peacock? I can't remember now. I think I did Pretty Peacock, actually. Let me see. Did I? I don't remember. Let's see. Do we want Pretty Peacock on there or Lost Lagoon? I think let's just do let's do Lost Lagoon. Let's see. And if it doesn't look right, then I can just change it up because no one's going to notice. So I'm going to ink up the leaf. And I'm just going to come in and do some of the edges. Yeah, that's a little light. Let's do Pretty Peacock. We want to have that. We want that to stand out. So let's make it a little darker. So that's fine. That one will look like we just stamped it off. No biggie. Okay, so we're going to stamp away however you want to stamp. So I'm just going to ink this guy up and do some side versions and come around this way. It's, whatever you want to do. And try to get into the corner. And then I'm just going to turn my paper. And so we'll just, keep doing some stamping, get some of the leaves that are a little bit bigger. And then here, I want to make sure it doesn't go on that side. And then we're going to flip this around. And I'm going to come in with a piece that's right like that because I want to get right there. And I'm just doing some of the different pieces so it doesn't look like it's all the same. And then this one, we're going to come on in the inside and just stamp along the side. And if it goes over a little bit, it's okay, And I'm going to just turn it a little bit sideways to give it a little different angles. Okay. Ink that up just once more. All right, there we go. So it kind of gives it, you know, that effect. So it's not Miss Plain Jane there. All right, so let's move this guy out of the way. And we'll put this one, let's move that. I have to get my workspace so I have room to move. All right. So we've done that with our inside piece. All right, now we're going to take, let's go ahead and get our flower stamped and colored. We'll get all of this done, and then we can come back and then we'll put it all together. How's that? That'll probably make it a lot easier. So let me get my stamp again. We're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to ink this up, and we're going to color our flower. All right, so we got to get, I definitely need to add some ink to that thing, huh? All right, so let's get him on here. Put that up there. Whoops. There we go. Let me move this out of the way. It's a little distracting. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to do the wild wheat on here. We're going to change up the color of the flower, and we'll do Pretty Peacock for our actual flower stems. I'm going to move this guy off to the side because he's in our way. All right, so let's take this guy, and we're going to ink that one up. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to hover so we can see. And the nice thing about the photopolymer, right, we get to actually see where we're stamping. And I can see the bottom two that look like I've got those lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and take the chance and push it down. That's not too bad. And I had it a little bit darker, but that's all right. So we're going to close this up. And then I am going to use on this one, I'm going to use pecan pie for the inside of the flower. It gives it a little bit darker accent. So just a little pecan pie here. All right. And we'll move those out of the way. And then we're going to come in with our leaf again. And this time we're going to use, I don't need this guy, do I? Nope. This time we're going to use the peacock. So we'll put the peacock on. See if we can get this one on here. You get some ink on it. You know, I always forget to ink up my stuff, so I need to remind myself to do that. All right, here we go. I'm going to, I gotta find my little, you know, when you look at the two leaves at the top, it's the second one over that's going that way. That's this stem right here, okay? So once you get that lined up, then it should be pretty easy. If you hover, you can see through your stamp, and we should be able to get this without too much being off-centered. So let's see, just bear with me 1 second. I'm looking, I'm just going to base it on where I see my stuff. Let me turn this guy right here. I think that might have made me move my stuff. Hang on. I'm trying to get my leaves lined up. All right, here we go. Let's see if that works. Hopefully it doesn't look too funky. That's way off. All right, we're going to redo that. That was way off. I didn't like that. Trying to, and this is what happens. It's okay, right? What did I do with my stamp? Oh, here it is. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Sorry, guys. It's hard when you've got lights on. It's one thing when you can stick your head in the thing and do it, but it's all right. We'll just do it one more time. I may stick my head in the camera. I probably wouldn't have it too much in the camera, but all right, one more time. And if this one doesn't work, we're going to have to go with it. All right. Okay, push down to make sure we got good coverage. All right, there we go. Okay, well, since we've done that, let's go ahead and do our leaf since we got the ink out. All right, here we go. I'm going to try this again. Actually, I think I'll stand up and hover. So, all right, we've got our stem right there. And I'm trying to see where my leaves are. I think I do better when I'm sitting down. I'm going to have to lean my head over just a little bit. All right, there's my stem. There's my leaves. I'm coming down. Let's see if we can get it in there. I think that looks pretty good, actually. That's what I said the last time, right? That's much better than that one. Look at this one. This one looked like a child did it. Okay, we're good there. And it shows some of the white on the side, which is fine. That's not a big deal. Okay, now we're going to come back and do our coloring again. Let's do our wild wheat. I told you we might run over. So, thank you. All right, let's see. I'm going to line this little guy up. Now, this one I can see because it's small enough. I can get my head in here, I think. Let me see. You know, it's always funny when you're doing these, right? So, let's go like that. That's not too bad. All right, we're moving along. We'll get this done. And then we've got to do our little inside piece again. So, again, pecan pie. That one we can't mess up, right? Can't mess that one up. All right, what else? Is there anything else I need to ink up? Oh, yes, we do. We have to do some more inking. I forgot. Okay, we're going to come back in here. We're going to use Lemon Lolly. Lemon Lolly. This is, you can't even read the daggone thing. Yeah, Lemon Lolly. And we are going to stamp, there's a dot thing in here. Let me clean off some of these stamps real quick. Let me just get that out of the way. Okay. There are some dots that are in the stamp set, and we're just going to stamp those around the perimeter of our card so that it doesn't look so plain Jane. You tell I don't use that stamp very much. All right, so I'm just going to stamp around. Let me find my scrap paper. I know I can put it on my thing and wipe it off, but that means I have to do more work. So let's just do it this way. And this is really light, so you're not going to see a whole lot with this. So I'm just going to randomly stamp this dot thing around just so it gets, just adds a little bit of color. And I'm trying to twist it. So, see, you can't even hardly see. I'll bring it up to the camera in just a minute. And I'm trying to get it so it doesn't look like we're doing the same thing, right? We just want to put some little dots on it. And then we'll come over a little bit on the edge. And I think that's good. I'm not going to put anything on the inside. Oh, I think we need a little bit. Let's do right here. Just need a few little spots right there. And it looks like we might need a little, just do a little. There we go. That's it. You can barely see it, but see what I mean? It kind of gives it a little, so it's not stark white paper. So those are the dots. So let's move this guy out of the way. I think I brought in all a lot of the colors here. All right, let's move these. Now we need to, we're going to add a bumblebee because there is a bumblebee in this set as well. This little tiny bee that has a little curly on him. So we're going to stamp him. You want to make sure you get him going in the right direction. Well, I guess it depends on how the bee's flying, right? All right, so let's have the bee like right here. So like he's coming in towards this flower. So I'm going to put one there, and I don't want to do too many because I don't want it to look like, and then this guy's coming in this direction. And I guess should we do a third one? Yeah, let's do, because he looks kind of, we don't want him to be lonely. So let's do one right here. How's that? All right, so we got 3 bees. Probably could have, yeah. We need to have that one on the other side to offset it because otherwise it's going to look lopsided, right? Okay. Now here comes the next thing we have to do. All right, we're going to take this piece and we're going to stamp our sentiment right here. And I'm going to stamp that in. I think I'm going to do the, I just love Pretty Peacock. It's a dark color. So let's stamp our sentiment, and that's going to go on this side right here. All right, so we're going to put that, and it helps if I put it right side up, right? All right, so this one we're going to do the same thing that friends are like flowers. So we're just going to leave it same sentiment. I did this one. This one has "You are remarkable in every single way." I'm just going to use the same one that we used on the other card. So I'm going to just stamp it right here. Okay, so that's good. All right, and close that up, move these out of the way. All right, and then now, so we're going to go ahead, let's just attach everything that we can. So we're going to attach this piece on here. And I don't think there's any right or wrong way on how that designer piece of paper goes. All right, so let's go ahead. I love this side too. I think I used that last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think I used a little piece of that. Hang on a minute. I got glue on my fingers. Okay. All right, now we're coming to the assembly part. Pay close attention. Okay. We are going to be going out of town on the 22nd of, we're leaving on the 22nd of April and going out west. We're flying into Utah to go to some of the national parks. Hopefully will still let us in. We're going to do that. So we're going to go around whatever that northern rim or something. Chuck's got it all mapped out. So that's what we're going to be doing. But I've got things all, I'll be getting some stuff lined up for you guys. Hopefully, it might be some old videos that I've done. I might kind of revive them. All right, so I'm going to place this on this panel right here, just because I don't want you to go without. Now, I probably will record the fundamental Friday technique or the anticipation. If I have time, which I may, I might do a couple of new videos. We'll see. But anyways, I'll keep you posted on that too. All right, so I'm going to put this one right here, okay? All right, now this one, we're going to attach this onto here, and this is just going to be glued flat. Nothing's going to get popped up on this card. So let's glue this down. And I did give you the dimensions on this, did I not? I think I did. Pretty sure. This white piece is 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. I trimmed it just a little bit, so a little bit more. I wanted more of the border to show from those textured note dies because I really like the way it embosses. So you can see I wanted it cut down so it just fits right in the center so you can see those dies. Okay. All right. Now, we got to do our sentiment. So, I did gray. Let's do, I'm going to bring it. Let's do, for the sentiment, this one I did in the gray granite, which I did not bring. Should I do that in wild wheat, or I think I should do it in Lost Lagoon? What do y'all think? I think that might be a little much for the sentiment. What do y'all think? And you know what? I don't think I brought that sentiment. I knew I had a stamp. I brought a stamp set in here and I couldn't figure out why I had it and I put it away. Oh my goodness. It's okay. I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but I'll show you what we're going to do. But I didn't bring that sentiment in here. Let me see because this stamp set here only has 3 long. I kept thinking, why am I bringing that stamp set in? So I went ahead and filed it. Yeah, see, all of these are long, so they're not going to fit. So we're going to pretend that we did our sentiment, and then I'll stamp it. I probably should go get the stamp, shouldn't I? Okay, well, we'll deal with that. All right, so we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to set this over here. All right, here we go. This is the first thing we want to do before we glue that onto there. We're going to turn this sideways, and we're going to fold it. Just fold it down, okay? I'm just going to fold it like this for now. All I want is this section right here to be glued right on here. That's all we want. So we don't want any other glue on this piece because this piece is what's going to fit right onto here, onto the card, just like that. So we're going to take and put our adhesive right here on this piece that has the sentiment, and we're just going to lay it down. All right, and we're going to lay it on here just like we would do, but we're just not going to do the other flat. We're just going to get it on here. Leave ourselves our border, right? All right, and then there's that. Okay, now I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. Give me a second. I'm gonna run and get that stamp so I can do our sentiment. Hang on, don't go nowhere. Good thing we downsized. I'm going to use a sentiment from Simply Said. So we'll get that. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so this should be dry. All right, so that's how it's going to go, right? Now, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece on to here, right? Just this piece is going to go just like we normally would do, right? So let's go ahead and put some adhesive on here. This is the part that I struggled after I got this on here. I'm thinking, well, what am I supposed to do now? I just could not get it through my brain. All right. So again, we're just going to add this, make sure we get it going in the right direction, right? Our normal size 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to lay that down here and get it straight on here. Get over there, Bubba. Come on, get over there. And I'm not too concerned about the inside because they're not going to see it. So I'm just going to make sure this is lined up evenly on this side of our card base, right? So let me lift this up because obviously I don't have that quite squared off. Let's pull it up a little bit and move it over because we want, is that good? I think it looks a little crooked. Hang on. There we go. So we want that on there. All right. So the brown, our wild wheat is glued down. All right. So now what we're going to do is this piece, it's going to go like this because this right here is going to get attached to, let me get my thing off of there. This is going to get attached just like that. Okay. So when we attach that, this is going to go through here, but this piece, and this is the funny part. So watch this. All right. So see this card here? I'm throwing my sentiment around. All right. We're going to open it up. Let's get the, you have to bring this up off. This is a little tight. So when we pull it open, see how it opens like that? All right. So see how this is going to attach to this section right here. This section is going to get glued down right on the edge of that so that it pops open. Okay, does that make sense? So if this card is going to be attached like this, then when we fold it, it's going to pop open. We're going to pull it open. So this is going to lay, we're going to lay it like, let me see, how did I do this to get the glue on it? I want to say we're going to do it like this. It's going to come over. This is going to get attached right here so that when we're going to put some adhesive right on the edge here and then fold this flap. And when we do that, of course, this is going to be on there. Then this is how it will open. It's going to open like that. And this is going to pull. So this would be on here like this, right? It's going to be glued down right to the edge of that. This is going to be glued down. This will be glued down to here, onto here. And then this is going to be glued to the second piece. Does that make sense? All right. This piece, we're going to put adhesive right here. That's going to glue on top of this. So that's going to hold that open. See how it opens? That's there. And then this piece is going to be on the center because this is what's going to fold up like that. So this is going to be attached right there. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place some adhesive. And there was a way she had it folded. And I don't remember how it was, to be honest with you now, but that's okay. I'm going to add this, fold that down. So this goes here. And then this piece will then glue onto here, onto the opposite side, and then we'll have it right. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully that's going to be right. All right. Actually, I think that's how we did it, just like this. We glued that there, glued this onto there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put it on this part right here, just here, because we don't want it to go any further, right? We want that to be glued onto this side right here. So we're going to, let me put a little bit right down here. Okay. We're going to fold that there. And that's going to help open the card. And then see where this is. So this piece, we're going to attach it right like that. So I'm going to lay this down. We're going to go back this way. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm only going to put glue right here. And then I'm going to lay it right on side of there. Then that way, when we open it, it's going to be attached. And actually, I'm thinking we're not going to do glue. We're going to do dimensionals. It makes it even easier. It's going to make it easier for it to stick on there. So we're going to do 6 of our dimensionals. This makes it easier than the glue. Sorry, guys. You can tell I just made this card, so I'm not proficient at the explaining how to do it, and I apologize for that, but I thought it was such a cute card. I wanted to make it for you guys. So you get to rewatch the video and to remind yourself of how this is done. Okay, so we have our dimensionals on here. Actually, did I need 6? Oh, no, I don't. Hang on. I just screwed up. I got to take these off. I don't know what I was thinking. We don't want 6. We only want 3 because we want 3 on the other side. Hold on. Let me put these away. Oh, good thing I caught that, huh? All right, 3 dimensionals on the right. Oh, I did it wrong. Hang on. Let me talk. It's got to be on the, geez, Lord. On, flip it over. It's going to be on the right side. Good Lordy. That's all right. They're on there. They're coming up. We don't want it glued down. We just want it here. There we go. Okay, that's going to make it much easier. All right, so we're going to lay this here and see if we lay this down. It's going to fit right in that little hole. So we've got that there. We're going to lay it in, get it all snug like a bug in a rug. And we're going to push down right here. And then we go to open it. So make sure they're on there. Ta-da! Whoops. Now, again, you got to see how the card, it's got to open. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cute? So it closes. And then you just pull it open. And again, had I brought the other piece of this color, I would have put something there, but that's your choice. And you could have probably put, you probably could have put 2 dimensionals together, like side by side going down if you wanted to have, but isn't that cute? So once you get the hang of gluing it, it opens just, and this is the part, because this cuts out, so it doesn't have a whole lot of leeway, but the whole idea is for it to flap open and then it can stand up. But isn't that a cute card? And then you can just write your sentiment wherever you want. All right, so there's the card. I hope you enjoyed that. I apologize that it took me a little bit. Oh, we got to do our sentiment. Hold on, we can't go anywhere yet. And then I did you see this here. I did put a twine. Now this is retired and it's it's a little bit thicker than if we used twine, but I thought it would kind of be something different to pull out the color. So I'm just going to quickly, what time is it? Oh, it's only 8:05. We're good. Unless y'all are good. Hey, Phyllis. So we're going to take and make a double bow, and then we will, no, wait, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it this way, don't I? We're going to make a double bow. And then I'm going to glue that down, and then we're going to cut this, and then we'll have it all set just to give it something extra, right? And then this one here, I'm going to cut this here for my tails, and then we're going to trim that up. So let's get our bow, because we want to have it kind of big enough that we can see it, right? So we did the double, and I'm just going to put a glue dot on there. Now this one, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to try to curl them back the other way, straighten them up just a little bit. And let's see, let's get where are my dimensions? Oh, do I have glue dots in here? Ha ha! I don't. So I guess we're going to use some, we'll use some seal. All right, I'm going to place that. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little mark right here to hold it down. And let's just do that. We'll leave that wrapped up there. We might trim that up just a little bit. Let's see. Let's get him. All right, I've got it right about there. We don't want it to go off the side. So let's put it like that. We're going to pull him down. Of course, you can play with these tails all you want, right? And then we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to do, let's see, what did we put on the inside? Friends are flowers in the garden of life. So let's put, you think we could get miss you, but that's going to be awful small. So I don't really want to do, why don't we just put, let's just do, I don't want to put thank you. Let's put hello. Let's just do hello. It might be a little small for that, but that's okay. We can do that and we'll put a butterfly. I don't really want to do a thanks because it says Friends are flowers in the garden of life. We could do thinking of you, but that's probably not going to fit on here. And just a note. So let's just do this one. Let's just do hello. We'll put that on here. All right. I'm glad you liked this. It took me a little bit of time, girls. All right, let's do Lost Lagoon so it's not so stark and dark. But even though I like the peacock, but let's just put, and we'll just put a, oh, we got stamp. Oh, we did do the bees. Okay. All right, so we're just going to stamp hello. How's that? Actually, we could just do hello twice if we wanted. We'll just put hello. And we'll put a little butterfly or something on there. How's that? Even with the bees. All right, so look, we're going to put this up on dimensionals. So we're going to add one on each side because I got the twine there, right? So let's just do that. And then this will be finished. And you can see on this card how this is kind of, this one I think is a little bit, I don't know, this one's up a little bit higher. So I'm going to hopefully, I got a twist. Hang on a second. Whoops, hold on. Phyllis, I'm going to get your stuff in the mail tomorrow that I owe you, card kits and that paper you asked for. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to try to twist him maybe that way so we can set that right over there. I'm going to line it up right like that. How's that? And we'll get the tails up that way. And it sits up a little bit high, but that's okay. And then now we can kind of fluff it if we want. Okay, we'll kind of pull the tails out. They can shake the tail feathers. All right, so there's that. Okay, now it looked a lot harder. I tried to make it look even harder, but you know me, I got to make everything look a little difficult, but it's easy to do after you saw how I did it. So make sure you go back and watch the replay. So this flips open and that comes like that, or you can leave it so we're going to close it up. Let's close it back up. All right, so we got our card. We're so excited. Let's see what so-and-so sent me this beautiful card, and we're just going to grab it and open. Isn't that pretty? All right, so there are those cards. Let me pull, what did I do with the other ones? Let me pull the other one in. Okay, so we've got those two that we did, same card. And then here is the ones that we did. Let me move all this out of your way. So this was the easy one. If you're just joining us, you'll have to come back and watch the video. But this is easier. You're just going to cut the paper at a diagonal and stamp your stuff and put it on there. There we go. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I do enjoy making these fun fold cards. Sometimes it can be a little crazy, but it just takes practice. And I think this one turned out pretty well, actually. Okay, everyone. Thank you. You cracked me up. It did look really hard. I know it did, but it really isn't. Once you remember how to fold it to get the glue on it, that was the part that I was losing track of. But you know, it is okay. But thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate you taking time out of your Tuesday night. And it is 8:11, so I'm only 11 minutes past the hour. So I think we did pretty good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I greatly appreciate you spending your time with me. This Friday, I believe, is Technique Friday. So if I'm not mistaken, I think we have, let me just double check here. And I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty confident that it is. Let's see. We are looking at, yep, Friday is Fundamental Friday, Technique Day, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on both channels. All right. Thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you share this video if you liked it and tell your friends. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks again, and I will see you on Friday. Bye now.